CURBS specifically is the Center for Undergraduate Research Ambassadors. So we are student ambassadors. If you ever have questions, you can reach out to us as well. But we're going to go ahead and get started.
Okay, so there are a ton of research opportunities and scholarships available here at the University of Florida. And there's basically one covering every skill level, no matter like if you've never done research in your whole life or you've been doing research for 3 years now, there's a scholarship at UF for you. And so if you're an incoming UF student with prior research experience, or if you're an incoming UF student with no form of research or any kind of experience whatsoever, there are a ton of different scholarships that will cater to your demographic.
So the first one we're going to talk about is the Emerging Scholars Program, and this is to support undergraduate research across anything, any major. So it's not limited to a specific major that you choose or minor, any department that you're involved in. Literally anyone is able to be eligible as long as you're an undergraduate student, and you have to be a freshman or sophomore with no previous research experience, meaning that this is catered towards people that have not previously been involved in, say, a lab, or if you have another ongoing project with your professor, this is not necessarily the program for you. It's to get people involved that haven't already. And the deadline for this is going to be this month, so definitely check on the CUR website to learn more about that if you're interested, if you're a first-year student or a sophomore. And this is a 12-month program, so it's a whole year going across fall, and I guess it would be spring and then fall. And you would also get a $1,000 stipend, and this is a great opportunity for your resume. And the Emerging Scholars Program is one of the newer ones, but it's a great way to get involved in research if you've literally never done any labs or projects before in research at UF.
And then a little different is the University Scholars Program. This aims to support undergraduates research at any stage across any discipline. So that includes the humanities, the STEM fields, and the social sciences. So you can be an undergraduate major of any year, and the deadline usually comes around in February, but depends on each department. So make sure to check on that, and then check with each department that you're like interested in applying to. And then also the CUR website will have more information about it. It's a 12-month full year program, and you get a $1,750 stipend for the scholarship.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think the class one is a little bit earlier than February. So if you're interested in that and you're in class, I would definitely check that out. The next one is the Research Excellence Program for undergraduates, and this is to recognize people for their research at graduation. So over the course of your time at UF and you've been involved in research, you're able to enroll and or apply and enroll for this program to, I think you get a cord at graduation. Yeah, and you are a scholar in the commencement book. So that, I think that's pretty cool. But you should join the Canvas page on our website, but the deadline for recognition is 10 weeks before graduation. So this would be something that you look at in the spring before you graduate. But you are able to get started ahead of time if you look on the Canvas page. And sorry, I skipped around on the slide a little bit here, but it's available to any major, any department. So whatever kind of research you're involved in, it's not restricted to STEM. If you're in the humanities as well, the Research Excellence Program is for you to be able to recognize and like kind of record the research experience that you've had at UF. And there's a few different requirements, but you can check the website for all the details on that.
And then that kind of covers the 3 major scholarship opportunities here at UF, but there's also a ton outside of UF that are pretty like major in like the realm of scholarships.
So the McNair Scholars Program is for any major, and if you've earned more than 60 credits, so technically you could be a junior, but if you've had, or excuse me, you could be a sophomore, but if you've had more than 60 credits, you can enroll. And this one is a little bit more specific in terms of demographics and eligibility. So you have to be a first generation student. And then by UF's definition of low income, underrepresented, planning to pursue a graduate degree. So this means if you're going for a PhD or a master's after you graduate from UF with your undergrad and you're sure about that, you can apply to the McNair Scholars Program. And this, I think it also has a way for you to, when you're applying to grad school, you get application waivers, like fee waivers. So that's, it's kind of built into a lot of different universities. So it's not just at UF, it's this cohort that is across the US. And the benefits of this program is a $2,800 award, and the training goes across the 12 months after you enroll. And that helps you, basically, you'll be matched with a mentor, and they'll help you figure out what you need to do to be competitive for grad school, because that's the focus of the program. It's not necessarily just research. It's about how to prepare you after UF to go to grad school. And the applications for this open around March. And I think they did just have an open house, if you ever have heard of the McNair Scholars Program, but they're going to have another one in January as well, if you're interested. And these close in April, so make sure you check the website if you're interested. But again, this program is specific to first generation and low income students. So there are other opportunities as well, that have scholarships and availability for any major and any type of student at UF.
And then another scholarship is the Mark Gators Star Program. And this is for anyone and caters to careers in biomedical research. So, and then like another thing, it caters to the underrepresented group. So this can be racial or ethnic, minority, or disabled. So it's a 2-year-long program. So that's 24 months, including the 2 summers. And during the summers, you will probably go somewhere for like intensive research training and ongoing research. You get $1,058 for a monthly stipend, which is around like $25,000 total, plus 60% of your tuition and travel support paid off. So this includes like research mentoring, professional development training. So it's really great if you're trying to like both continue researching and then also receive some kind of developmental training along your way. And it covers most of the expenses for all of that. Online applications will open in spring of 2023 for the 2023 and 2024 application cycle. But the website link is like linked above, and you can click there to see more about their application process, including what kind of rec letters you need, and then like the interview process for this year.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, again, I think this is a pretty competitive program. Like at the bottom, you have to have recommenders, and there's a little bit more of an extensive application process. So if you're interested, it will open up in the spring, but it's definitely something you shouldn't hesitate to look at like pretty far in advance, because it is a more competitive program at UF. And since it's not only at UF, there's going to be other applicants to the program. And the next one is the Wentworth Travel Scholarships. So this is also another specific one for UF honors students that are involved in research already, and you have a minimum GPA of 3.0. That's a requirement of the program. And then each year that you're enrolled, you get a monetary reward, and it's not necessarily a set amount. It's based on the cohort and how much funds are available each year. The benefits are you get research conference travel support. So if you have a project and you want to travel to present somewhere with your poster, or if you're doing a presentation, you're able to get funds for that. And then also participation in unpaid research experience. So if you get accepted to a program externally that is like a research internship, but they don't fund you, this program will fund you to be able to travel. And they probably have, not probably, there is more information on the website if you want to look about the different circumstances that you could get funding through this specific Wentworth Travel Scholarship. And this is a rolling admission one, so there's not a set deadline or a semester. You can apply at any time. And the application is on the website above, but again, this is for honor students, so that's where that's hosted, on the UF honors website.
And then one of like the more like the bigger, more well-known ones are REUs, or like the National Science Foundation Research Experience for undergraduates. And this basically allows undergraduate students to receive financial support to conduct research at universities all over the country. Most of them happen during the summer, but you can also find spread out ones. And then I believe there are also some schools that will host internationally. So I think last year maybe UF had one in Paris. So there's like a ton of opportunities to go, and it like helps cover travel expenses. And then also you get a stipend depending on whichever university you go to. And then CURBS conducted an REU workshop going over details on how to apply to an REU. Additional recordings of all our past REU workshops can be found on the CUR website. So I think this was maybe a week ago. So the recording will be there. So if you're interested in applying to an REU, that link is on the CURB website. And then I think there might be also a spring workshop going over like applications and kind of like looking into more like the application cycle. To find different REU programs and their respective deadlines and requirements, please go to this link right here. And then you can browse through all the different research categories that suit your interest. And these are like hosted separately at each of these like foundation schools. So you basically apply to them separately, which is why there's like no like one deadline. Just kind of go through and look through it. But they basically cater to a ton of majors. So whatever you're really looking into, they'll probably have one that like you'll find very interesting. And I think deadlines usually close for summer applications around February.
I think applications open usually around November, so
Yeah.
this would be the time to start looking at it. And I remember looking at this last year, and I think biomedical is probably one of the most popular, but if you're interested in social sciences or other humanities, there's still definitely a lot of programs because the NSF research, like the whole thing, it's not associated with UF, like it's for so many different universities, so you're bound to find something that is of your interest.
Yeah, and there's like different timeline ones. So most of them are during the summer and most of them span like 8 to 10 weeks throughout the summer. And then there's like different, you get different stipends depending on which program you do and like which university you go to. But there's like a ton of details on their website. So just like, if you go visit that one, it can tell you basically anything and you can search by category for your major.
Yeah, and this is kind of like a host website, so it'll link you to the university that is sponsoring the program. So if you have specific questions about the program, you're going to want to reach out to that specific institution. Then there are also prestigious scholarships awarded throughout the year. So these are for both undergraduates or alumni. So if you're graduating this year, you can even apply after you graduate. And these are also through the UF Honors website, and a few of them are the Barry Goldwater Scholarship, and we're going to have a special speaker to talk about her experience with that, and that is specifically for second and third year undergraduate students. And there's also the Fulbright program, if you've ever heard of that. This is a really cool program that offers students the ability to research, study, or teach English in over 140 countries. I've heard a lot of people talk about their experiences with that, and it's a really awesome program. I think it can either be for a semester or a full year, but it has a focus on international study and involvement at UF, of course, associated with research as well.
Okay, so for our Goldwater Scholar, we have Emily Palick, who's a 4th year microbiology major that was a 2022 Goldwater recipient.
Guys, so let's talk about the Goldwater. Scholarship. So it is eligible if you're a second or third year undergrad. You're more likely to receive it if you're a third year undergrad because it really relies on the research that you've done and sustained over your years at UF. So I applied my third year, I got it my third year. It is up to $7,500 per year undergraduate. So if you're in second year, you get it for 2 years. In your third year, you get it for 1 year. Asterisks, because this covers cost of attendance. So for example, if you have other monetary funds or scholarships that cover your cost of attendance, you don't actually end up seeing that money. But one of the benefits is that being named option, so it opens up a lot of opportunities for graduate study. Oh, I should mention, yeah, this is specifically if you intend to attend or graduate with a PhD or go to grad school. You can apply if you're interested in medical school and say your MD, PhD, and end up only pursuing the MD, you can still apply because you're technically saying that you're obtaining a PhD. So the benefits, again, monetary, the peer network of advice, the scholarship community is great and really helpful for getting into graduate school and just speaking with people that have similar research ideas and experiences. So the deadline, unfortunately, just passed. It was Monday. It's usually the first Monday of November. And being successful, especially for these types of scholarships, it's showing sustained and self-motivated research. So this is when you've been in a lab for a little, like a bit, 2 or 3 years. You show you're passionate about what you're researching and that you're self-motivated. So for example, I've been in a lab for 3 years at that point, and I initiated some collaborations with labs across UF, and I talked about how I was self-motivated in extending my research into different areas. So if you have any questions, specific questions, I'm happy to answer them after the talk as well.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we've covered all of the scholarships and programs that we're going to talk about today, but you can also follow us on socials, and you will usually give notifications about deadlines coming up or other workshops as well. And you can also sign up for our email listserv there. You can scan the QR code down below, or you can also, we have a link tree in our Instagram, you can use that as well. And then we always have to plug CURBS Advising. It's a really awesome way to talk one-on-one with a peer advisor. They have research experience, and they're just students like us that are able to give you kind of just advice about how to get involved if you've never been, or how to take your research to the next level if you're looking for that as well. So definitely take advantage of all the opportunities that UF has, because we're a huge research institution. So really any major, any discipline, you're able to find experience that can help you with your resume. If you're trying to get into grad school, research is a great way to supplement that as well.
And then CURBS peer advising will also have more information on specific scholarships that they can go and like walk you through if you're more of like a niche major or like trying to find like a more specific discipline. You can go through to CURBS advising, and they will kind of like sit down with you and help you get started with research, find research, or even like look for other things to kind of apply for during the summer or throughout the school year. So they're really an amazing place to go. And then also, do you want to walk them through the CURBS website?
Yeah, do you want to do this at the end then?
Yeah, we can come back to this.
Okay, so should I start recording?
So open your screen.
So I wanted to,
Right, we're gonna walk you through the CURBS website because there's also a great link at the top here that kind of gives you more information and links a lot of the stuff that we just talked about for scholarships.
so if you've never been to the CURBS website, you can just type in Google UF CURBS, University of Florida Research, and you should be able to navigate here pretty easily.
Under students.
So these are the scholarships that we were talking about today. There's the Emerging Scholars Program, the University Scholars Program. That is the one that's specific to all the different departments. I'm not.
But this will cover like everything about requirements, like how to apply, application dates, like what you need for an application, and any kind of like additional information that you might be trying to find. There's little like information slots, and then this basically covers, you can find all the ones that are like directly UF based on this website here. And also there's just like great reminders going out on the CURBS website. So if you have any questions, like it's pretty good to go onto the website to look through and see what kind of research is available and what kind of scholarship opportunities are currently being highlighted on the website.
Yeah, exactly. And each of the scholarships are going to have very like explicitly laid out eligibility. Anything that we didn't cover today will of course be on here in terms of like making sure that you're in the right graduating year. If there's any requirements for GPA or major, you can find it on this website, and this link right here will take you to the different college requirements. So if you're in class, CALS, engineering, etc. And yeah, the other, yeah, there's a,
yeah. So you can go down and see whichever one like you might be looking for, or look through all of them depending on whichever major you are and like what their requirements are. And then some of the more specific one, like the honors one, you're gonna want to go to the honors website to find those, because I don't think CURBS actually like host them because they're very specific for only the honors program. So you can also find those on the honors website, and it's gonna have like a very similar layout to this, where you can find very specific information on all the scholarships that the honors college like hosts.
yeah, the honors college is definitely where we're gonna find those two that we talked about today, but CURBS has so many different programs, and then the one that's like just a recognition for your research after you graduate is also on CURBS as well. These are some of the deadlines coming up for the University Scholars Program, so this is a good, maybe if you just want to put it in your calendar with notification, make sure you apply. And if there's like extra requirements, like a letter of recommendation or kind of a lengthy application, you want to make sure that you give yourself time, especially if you're asking someone else to help you review or anything like that. I think that pretty much wraps up